On behalf of my many constituents who work in Scunthorpe next door. And my primary concern today is with the nearly 3,000 people who work in this plant. Let's be clear, we have been making the best quality steel in the world for 135 years in Lincolnshire, and we intend to go on doing it. We are not going to allow cheap, inferior Chinese steel to kill off our industry.
In a chamber known more for scripted speeches and hollow applause, one voice rose with fire. One man shattered the silence, not with noise, but with undeniable truth. Steel, the backbone of Britain's industrial soul. For 135 unbroken years, the town of Scunthorpe has forged the finest steel in the world. But now, the furnaces are flickering. Not because of failure, but because of betrayal. And then, Sir Edward Leigh stood up. Phone in one hand, reality in the other. He didn't read from a briefing note. He spoke for the 3,000 steelworkers whose jobs hang by a thread, and whose legacy is being quietly sold off to foreign powers with a smile and a handshake. He called it what it is, a national disgrace. From soaring energy prices making our steel uncompetitive, to the shocking silence of politicians when British steel was handed over to China, he ripped through the hypocrisy with the precision of a scalpel. And just when Parliament thought it was business as usual, Leigh stunned them. Never again, he declared, must we hand over strategic industries to autocratic regimes. This wasn't just a speech. It was a reckoning. So, buckle up. Because what you're about to witness isn't filtered spin or party politics. It's a man standing alone in Parliament, refusing to let British steel and British dignity be melted down in the fires of foreign interest. Watch now, and if you believe it's time to wake up this Parliament and stand with our workers, like, share, subscribe to this channel and speak out in the comments. The future of Britain's industry may just depend on it.
That we're going to do things differently. We're going to tell the truth, even when they are hard truths.
Edward Leigh. I've just come off the phone talking to Tom Smith, the convener, trade union convener at the blast furnaces, on behalf of my many constituents who work in Scunthorpe next door. And my primary concern today is with the nearly 3,000 people who work in this plant. Let's be clear, we have been making the best quality steel in the world for 135 years in Lincolnshire, and we intend to go on doing it. We are not going to allow cheap, inferior Chinese steel to kill off our industry. The workers of Scunthorpe are breathing a sigh of relief. Now, we can be party political. I have to say, I thought the Chairman of the Business Committee made an excellent speech just now. He was positive. He talked in strategic terms. I don't know what the Liberal Democrat spokesman achieved by constantly attacking the Conservative Party in what is a very complex issue. Of course, we can be criticised because we sold this company to Jingay. Yes, I agree. But how many voices over there were speaking up at the time? And were they speaking up when Greg Clark, our business secretary, paid the wages of the Scunthorpe steel workers for many months? Right. Were they speaking up when we saved Sheffield Forge Masters? This is a highly complex issue, and we should be working together. So I support this bill. Now, I know that we can be critical of the government. Perhaps we should have acted sooner. And my honourable friend has been raising this point. I was sitting beside him when he raised it at the end of March, and he called for nationalisation of this industry. But we've now got to work together to save our steel-making capacity. But this is a bit of a sticking plaster, we know that. It's quite dangerous. Quite extensive powers have been taken by government. There has to be a sunset clause. We are given unprecedented powers to government. We can criticise them for not acting sooner. But this is just a sticking plaster on a gaping wound. Let's be honest, steel making in this country is under extreme stress. And why is that? Why are we loading the most expensive energy costs on our own steel production? Why is Scunthorpe paying almost twice as much in energy costs as in South Korea or in America? High energy prices make UK steel expensive to produce and uncompetitive versus our European counterparts. The average price paid by UK steelmakers for 24-25 was £66 a megawatt hour, compared to the German price of 50 and the French price of 43. We are making our own steel industry uncompetitive. We have to stop these green energy costs. We have to be realistic. I see that the Secretary of State for Net Zero has now left. But get real. You know, we can take it into public ownership now, but if we go on loading these costs in our industry, we will be coming back month after month, year after year. So, we will support this bill. We want a sunset clause. But we have to get real about China too. Was it not obvious for weeks, indeed for months, that this company, this so-called private company — there is no such thing as a private company in China. They're all under the cosh of the government, under an autocratic regime. What do they care about the steel workers in Scunthorpe? What do they care about our national interest? So never again, colleagues, must we allow a strategic industry like this to fall into the hands of the Chinese, the Russians, or anybody else. I'm going to give way. I'm going to finish in a moment. I've made my point. So, just try and... Oh, I'll give way to the Honourable Lady. Go on.
I am extremely grateful to the Honourable Gentleman for giving way. I would just like to ask him to clarify whether he was aware that the Chinese company that is now in possession of British Steel was actually sold it by a Conservative government of which he was a part.
Well, of course I'm aware, because I've just said it. I've just admitted that it was a mistake, but I've asked everybody here, what were they saying at the time? Of course, silence. Silence! It's easy to be wise after the event, but I'm worried about my steel workers. I'm worried about their future. I'm not worried. Of course, our former leader, yes.
I just want to make sure he puts the record straight. Some of us on this side warned the government then it was the wrong act.
Well done. Very well. Some of us apparently warned the government. I don't know how many, but we now know what is the true nature of our Chinese friends. So, we support the bill. Let's make our steel industry really competitive again. Let's make Great Britain great again.
If you're tired of the mainstream media dodging real issues while lecturing us with woke fiction, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel for truth, accountability, and no-nonsense reporting the mainstream refuses to do. Your voice matters. Let's make it louder together.